All right, so this segment is going to be a little bit of a grab bag. This is just a few things that I wanted to give you updates on or that were really interesting that happened this week. So really just 4 things. The first one is, if you remember a few weeks ago, I mentioned that I was going to be speaking and giving testimony to the Securities and Exchange Commission up in DC. So I did that. The testimony went great. The presentation went well, and they finally posted the video for that. So I'm going to show you a couple of the things that went along with that. For those on YouTube, you can see that I pulled up the meeting agenda, and we were in the afternoon panel. And this was a great panel kicked off by Erin West. Erin, who is a guest on the show, talks about pig butchering scams a lot and is really trying to do a ton of great work there. She painted a fantastic picture of how scary things are right now. Then we had David Maimon, who does some really interesting research into Telegram channels and the way that fraudsters are sharing information and tools. Then I gave my testimony and presentation. And then Claire McHenry, who's the Deputy Director of the Nebraska Department of Banking and Financial Securities Bureau, gave the last presentation, and she spoke a lot on policy work and what's being done really to enable public and private partnerships there, and some really good work. And so that agenda is there. If you click on the testimony within each of those, it will take you to the written testimony. And so over here, again, for those on YouTube, you can see my written testimony that I presented was all around deepfakes and the future of financial deception. And then also they posted the YouTube video of that. And so here you can see me dressed all up, presenting in front of the Securities and Exchange Commission, talking about deepfakes and some of the tools that are really being used and made available to both people who want to use these for legitimate purposes, but of course also on the cybercrime side. So that is that. I'll put all the links in the show notes for that. Also this week, there were a couple of really good image generation programs that dropped. The first one is a native model, and this was from OpenAI. And so this is not strictly a diffusion model. This is a multimodal model that incorporates all the great things around large language models and multimodality into the way that it understands the prompts and then generates the images. And so you can see here, as I go to the OpenAI website that announced it, introducing 4.0 image generation. 4.0, again, 4.0 is for the Omni. That's what the O stands for there. And it says, unlocking useful and valuable image generation with a natively multimodal model capable of precise, accurate, and photorealistic outputs. And they've got a ton of great information here. There are some, and again, the link will be in the show notes. You should go to this page, go ahead, read the content, and see some of the sample images that they posted. For those watching on YouTube, you can see here a very photorealistic image of a young woman in an OpenAI shirt writing on a whiteboard. And you can even see like the outline or the reflection of somebody behind her taking a picture with like an iPhone or some kind of mobile device. The text that is on the whiteboard looks real. It's legible. It is fully readable. And it's actually interesting because it's talking about the way that the model works. So it's a little bit meta there. You can see the young lady and probably the guy that was supposed to be taking the picture of the selfie, giving a high five. That doesn't look great where their hands are meeting, but it's fine. If you were just scrolling through social media, you would just think that was an awkward pose. So really, really interesting. They talk about character consistency. They talk about text generation. They can also generate images with transparent backgrounds. You can edit images on the fly, like you create one image. The one that they're showing on their page is they create an image of a cat, and then they say, now give the cat a decorative hat and monocle, and it just adds that to the image, keeping the character consistent. It's the same cat. And people are doing really crazy stuff with this. If you go over to X, which is one of the good reasons to be on X right now, is there's a ton of people sharing great AI work. Not a lot of other good reasons to be on X, but the AI community is still there. I'm showing on screen an image that looks like Albert Einstein working out. And this looks photorealistic. This looks real to me. I'm not seeing a lot of AI tell. I'm not seeing any AI tells. I'm not looking at it overly closely, but yeah, this looks like a shot that would be in a magazine to me. Very good. Everybody's experimenting with all the different styles that are available. The ability to make infographics, to upload a cartoon and turn that into a real person, or upload a real person and turn that into a cartoon, to upload real people and put them in different circumstances. All of that used to take creating custom trained models, like LoRa models with Flux. And now you can just do that with OpenAI's 4.0 model. So that's really good. There's another fun one that somebody shared on X where they took the characters in Severance and put them in a whole bunch of different styles like stop motion and so on. And that was really fun to see also. Cartoons and line art and like Pixar. So yeah, really, really cool. And almost everybody has an OpenAI ChatGPT subscription. It's available at all the different levels of subscription. So if you are even subscribed at the most base level, then you have access. The other model that came out this week, right around the same time, is this. It is Reeve 1.0. And on the YouTube version of the podcast, I'm pulling up the Explore page right now. And you can see a bunch of very realistic images. I mean, this is a really, really good model. Of course, it also does like cartoons and oil paintings and abstract work, but this is a very, very good realistic model. And we are entering the age right now where people will not be able to trust what they're seeing online. I'm going to play a quick video of the demo reel for this. And in this, you're seeing like oil painting styles, various art styles, various anime styles represented, photorealistic like magazine shots. Really, really good. Even like candid shots with old photography styles, old camera lenses. Very, very good results with that. So again, these image models keep getting better and better and better. And so the last thing that I want to touch on is, because all of this is getting so good and because we're having to worry about deepfakes across all different types, not just images, but also audio and video, the National Cybersecurity Alliance is going to be celebrating AI Month in April. And so they are creating this AI Fool's Day campaign. And I'll put a link to this in the show notes too, where you can go to their website. You can download a toolkit that has PDFs, social media graphics, sample internet and email copy if you're wanting to let your people or your family know about that. Other helpful materials, including a number of commercials that Mason and I created for them. So little 30-second ad spots that could be put on the radio that dramatize some of the types of AI voice scams that are out there. Here's one of those real quick, just so you get an idea.
Hey, Melissa, it's Brian from Finance.
Oh, hey, Brian.
We're closing a huge deal with a new vendor, and I need you to wire $150,000 to their account. I've got the bank details whenever you're ready.
That's a big transaction. Got a reference number?
There's no time. I'll handle paperwork after. We have to close this deal
Hang
ASAP.
on. Brian, what's the safe word?
What? I don't have time for games. If this deal falls through, I will personally...
With AI, scammers can sound like anyone. Create a safe word with your workplace today. Learn more at staysafeonline.org.
So with that, that is this segment. All the links are going to be in the show notes. Right now, we're going to go to a quick break, and then we'll come back with our interview with Cameron Malin.